Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Sold Sign Real Estate Unplugged. We are your hosts and favorite realtors, Naya
and Lauren.
And we're so excited to be back for another episode. Let's get into this listener's story.
We've never sold a home before. What mistakes do first-time sellers make that we should avoid? Love this question. Because, well, first things first, I know selling your home is very overwhelming. I feel like packing, you don't realize how much stuff you have until you start packing it up. So for me, I think the first thing is just declutter. As soon as you know in your head,
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Just start throwing things away that you are no longer going to need ever, or that you're not bringing to your next location. Just start that. Those little things really help. Not only you, but also your realtor, anybody that's coming in to help you throughout this process. But mainly, we want this to be just a seamless process for you as a seller, and it's a lot. So we want to make sure we just give you as much information up front as possible. Number one thing, declutter.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying your house is cluttered. It's
Right.
just everybody has stuff in their house that they can throw away or get rid of. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So that would be my number one thing. And I don't think sellers necessarily make that mistake, but sometimes they do. And sometimes a little too late as well.
Right.
So that would be my first thing. What would be your first thing? What would you say would be a mistake?
One thing that I think is overlooked sometimes when selling is or preparing to sell is waiting too long to address small repairs but can make a big difference.
Yeah, they do add up.
If there's some obvious, it might be a small thing, but it's obvious to a buyer. That adds into the home's presentation. Yep. And that's just if it's something that was small enough that you could have just resolved before even going on the market, or having to have that conversation about that small petty thing.
Yep.
When buyers start to see it, or you're in contract and it came up on the inspection report, just deal with that early and beforehand.
Yeah. Because those small things add up.
They add up, and you don't want to be bothered with something that was so small and tedious that you knew you meant to do, or wanted to do, or said you would do beforehand.
Yep, that's such a good point. Yeah, you're going to take TVs, pictures off the wall.
Yes, patch that stuff up.
Why are you going to keep it looking crazy? Patch it up. It's a small thing, but like you said, it makes such a big difference. Because that's the first thing the buyer's eye is going to go to. Why is that like that? Is that something that we're going to have to come in and paint and fix? Or is this something that the seller is going to take care of? It's just, that presentation is insane. There's just small things. The handle, the railing going up the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
That's a little loose.
It's been loose. Why are you going to have them bring that to you? You go up the stairs every day.
You did it. You holding on to it. Come on, just fix it. Tighten it up a little bit, right? Your garbage disposal, maybe that's not working.
Yeah.
Get that fixed. Bring in a plumber. Maybe the water is a little slow with the leak. Certain things, just you can bring these people in. If you ever feel man, I don't have these resources, I don't have these people, that's what your realtor is there for. If they don't have them, get another one, because they should be the ones that are providing you a lot of resources that can help you get your home on the market with as least amount of problems as possible. We know it's hard to sell your house. We don't want to put more stress on you. So if we can bring in a plumber and a cleaning person and an electrician, let us do that and let us provide that stuff to you. Another big mistake I think that sellers make, and y'all, this is your home, so we get it, trust me. But I feel pricing emotionally instead of strategically is such a big one. And again, we understand it's your home, but you're selling it, so it is going to become someone else's home. So you got to take the emotion out of it on how much you think your home is going to or should sell for, based on the facts and what it most likely will sell for. Back to strategy. As realtors and who list quite a bit, we are providing sellers with something called a CMA. And when we provide that, that's just facts laid out on the table saying, hey, these are the homes that sold in your neighborhood. This is what they sold for. This is what we think your house would sell for. But then if you're upset about that, and because your emotions are in it, because it is your home, that can really hurt you, honestly, because what buyers tend to do, they will come in, and if they feel as if your home is overpriced, instead of them just offering and submitting an offer based on what they feel like your house should be like sold at, they will just walk away and go to the next house. So to make sure that doesn't happen, you want to make sure you're pricing it, again, strategically, not emotionally. Take the emotions out of it, because you've already realized I'm selling. So now it's like, okay, but how am I going to sell the house? What is the best strategy for me to sell it? And that is looking at the facts and the numbers based on what has already previously sold, because guess who else is going to do that? The appraiser. It's not just us. We're not just here saying we want you to get less money, go ahead and sell. No, we know that all the way at the end, once you get under contract, all the way at the end, the appraiser is coming, and if your house doesn't appraise, you already
have to come down anyway.
You're gonna have to hello. So you might as well go ahead and price it strategically. Get as many people in there as possible. That way, you can. Obviously, we want you to get the most for your house, but you got to take the emotion out of it.
Yes, absolutely. Another thing.
Tell 'em.
This one is a good one. So when you are selling your home, it's important to be flexible with showings, because if your goal is to sell the home, in order to do that, a part of the process is allowing buyers and realtors to be able to tour and to see your home. So that means that you want your home to be accessible, easily accessible for folks to schedule time to see the home. You want them to have a good experience, easy getting in, easy getting out, and have the time and the space that they need to tour and to see your home. So it's important, especially, and I understand sometimes when you are selling, you're still living in the home before you get to your next place. That is totally fine. But just know going into the process that there might be times where you have to be a little bit more flexible. You might have to go hang out, window shop, do things a little bit longer out around town to allow your home to be open and accessible for people to see it. Because what you don't want to happen is that days are going by and accumulating because you're living in the home and you've maybe said, well, people can see it for an hour when I get off of work from 5 to 6, Monday through Friday. Well, people are at work just like you are, or, doing things throughout the week. Having a short and small window is not accessible. That's not providing accessibility and openness and ease and people being able to see your home. So it's important to be open and to be flexible with showings for people to be able to see your home. And the quicker that you sacrifice some time to do that,
yes,
the more people can come in and the quicker you can get under contract, and then, continue to live home. Showings are shut down and you don't have to worry about it. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to step out a little bit so that people can step in and see your home, and the next buyer can, make the decision and choose your home.
God, that's such, oh my God. I'm so happy you mentioned that. That is such, I have nothing else to say about that. That is such a good point. I swear. And that's a big one. That's a huge one. And then ignoring feedback from buyers. So if you receive, we have a showing time app, so usually an agent will submit feedback after a showing, just letting us know what their buyers said or felt about it. Open houses, when we're conducting an open house, buyers are obviously coming in, telling us and giving us feedback about how they feel about the house. So once your realtor has all that information, and then they're coming to you and expressing how, what the buyers are feeling, that's something that you should just kind of take to heart and think about. Maybe it should be a shift, maybe not, just depending on what the buyers are saying. If you get a lot of buyers and they're all talking about pricing and they all feel like the pricing is too high, that's telling you something. And that's telling you that the market that's out there, that the buyers that are interested in your house feel as though it's priced too high, and that may be something that we need to shift a little bit and take your emotion out of that. These are just buyers coming in to tell you exactly how they feel about it, and you can take it or not, but just know, you're here to sell a house. So that's the whole point. Is to get it sold. So make sure you just, listen to that feedback that you receive.
So I think those are the big things. The smoother that you navigate through these things and avoid these mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the smoother your selling experience will be, likely the quicker your selling experience will be. So
yeah, because that preparation before
that
listing
before
really determines how smoothly
it really does. You want
it
to. We always
sells.
say you want to have a good, strong start from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible, like as much as we can control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode. We hope you have learned something, some good takeaways if you're thinking about selling soon. Make sure that you share, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the podcast platforms, and we can't wait to see you next week.